Welcome to the Penny Z Show, where you get to learn how real people overcame real issues. Get ready to take notes and, most importantly, take action. Here's your host, Penny Z.
Hi, everyone. This is Penny Z with the Penny Z Show. We are focusing on transforming lives one life at a time with real, relevant, and relatable topics. As many of you who are following us know by now, we are in a series called Overcoming Your I'm Not Enough Story. And again, I am just blessed. I feel such gratitude that I have another wonderful guest for you to listen to today. I want to introduce to all of our listeners, Brittany Greene. She is the founder and CEO of Crowned Financials. We have not had anyone in the financial industry yet on the show, so this will be a real treat for all of our listeners. Brittany is, let me get this here. Brittany is a financial literacy coach. She provides workshops, courses, and exclusive coaching about financial wellness. Brittany is an author of Mind and Money Manual and the creator of the Drop the Panties. Oh, I love this. Drop the Panties, Shedding Light on Financial Embarrassment. So we need to hear more about that, but I would first like to welcome Brittany Greene to the Penny Z Show. Brittany, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. And I thank you so much, Penny, for inviting me on.
Absolutely. I know that we met at Lisa Nichols' conference several months ago and connected. We did an exercise together and I was just so impressed. So I was excited to invite you onto the show. Tell us a little bit more about you before we get into your story, Brittany.
Okay, so of course, my name is Brittany Greene. I am from Detroit, Michigan, but I currently live in the Miami and Fort Lauderdale area where I do financial literacy coaching. But aside from that, I am a dancer. So that's how I stay fit.
Nice.
And I keep a little bit of a light to my life just because, you know, you deal with so many numbers and things like that on a day-to-day basis. My relief happens to be on the dance floor. So,
any particular style or just anything goes?
Yes, it's pretty funny. I shock everyone when I say this. Yes, I am a professional belly dancer.
Wow. I am excited about that. I'll have to take some lessons from you, or at least just, come and watch one of your shows or something. I used to be a professional hula dancer in Hawaii. So we come from very diverse and unique backgrounds in the dancing world.
Yes. And oh my goodness, I couldn't do it. I tried actually. My college, they had hula dancers come in and they brought some of us on stage to try to learn. And I thought, okay, I belly dance, I can get it. No, it's a different type of hip thing going on there, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sure is. Good exercise too in both of the dance types. So yeah. So Brittany, we are in a series called Overcoming I'm Not Enough. And we all have experienced that in our life, whether it's just a particular event or it's a season, or in my story that I've shared with our audience many times, it's potentially for a good part of our life. So would you give us a little bit of a backstory on what your Overcoming Your I'm Not Enough story is? So tell us a little bit about the I'm Not Enough experience, and then we'll kind of walk our listeners and our audience through that.
Yes. So my overcome moment happened to be when I was released from corporate world. But it really all started back when I was a little girl. I didn't know my father. He decided to, take the other route, take care of his other children. But I was the one that was pretty much singled out where I wasn't in his care. So about when I hit 16 years old, I started forming questions because that's when I really started to understand the impact of a father and understanding, what was going on from what I seen in my friend's home and my own home. And I realized that something was different. And when I pretty much heard the backstory of my father not being around, I figured that was, when the feelings started to trigger that I'm not enough. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was my fault that he didn't want to be around. And then, upon meeting him when I was 16 years old, the feelings somewhat stayed because the relationship was rocky. Even to this day, still the relationship is just a little bit rocky. And I blamed myself for so much. And that carried over into my personal life and in my actual career. because of that situation pretty much starting off, I always felt as if I wasn't enough. And no matter how much I tried, no matter how much I, put in the effort to build a relationship with him, it didn't work. So it came again, like I said, into my personal life. So I strived to be all that I could be in school with my degrees, and then getting into the corporate world and realizing, hey, it was a bite on the tail fan with there as well, because it didn't matter how much time you put in, how much work you put in. Me working when I was sick wasn't enough. And it really, if you tell yourself something so many times, you begin to believe it.
Yeah.
So the situation that happened with my father and other situations that happened after that, I already started to feel as if I wasn't enough. So I felt that I had to go the extra mile to prove to someone who I was. And then getting into the corporate world, to make a long story short, over that 2 years that I was there, I gave more than enough. Now, I'm understanding that I've overcome that. I gave more than enough, but I didn't feel like it was enough because I was always tested. I was always, what are they called? Oh my goodness, cat got my tongue. The evaluations. Something was always coming back to where it was saying, you're not enough. So that thought just continued to set in. And it took me going to the Lisa Nichols conference. It took her getting in my space and really breaking me down to understand, all this time I have been enough. I've just been psyching myself out. I was the reason why I wasn't successful. My business wasn't successful. Those were all the things that were going on at that time. And when I say it was just a huge shift in that atmosphere from that weekend, from the activity that we did when we were sitting in the four, with our earth angels, after that is when I realized I was enough. So by that time, Tuesday, when I got the call into the office that was my last day, that they were releasing me, I immediately knew my worth. I knew that they weren't, firing me. They were losing a good thing, right? It was something that I had a bigger mission for myself that I had to, and it took me believing that. And once I believed that, everything began to just fall into place. The business took off. My book took off. I was able to write and publish the book within a week and a half. Wrote the book in 3 days, and ended up in the hospital. But right afterwards, I got it proofread, and then got it out there, and then the copies just started selling. It's just been a hit ever since then. But it literally took a mind shift, and for someone else to get into my space, for me to know, okay, you know what? Everything that you've trained yourself to think before, everything that you were doing before is nothing measured up to where you're really supposed to be. So I had to get other people out of my head before I realized that I really was enough.
You said that perfectly. I had a very similar experience. I went to an event, and over a weekend, it was a different event. I recognized that I had self-sabotaged myself for years, and my subconscious was telling me I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't athletic enough. You name it, I could justify not being good enough. And when I recognized that and released it, like what you were just talking about, I was like, no more, I'm not enough. I am taking my power back. I am taking my self-confidence back. And, I'm in control, and I'm in charge. And you're right. I'm not letting other people tell me or allow my brain to tell me I'm not enough. So congratulations on that. And it really does happen so quickly. It's like flipping a switch, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because as soon as you flip that switch and you change your perspective and your way of thinking, everything changes.
So true.
There isn't one thing that stays the same. And it's like I told someone, it felt as if my blessings and my true calling was banging at the door, and I was just in bed ignoring it. Yeah. And as soon as I turned that mindset around, the blessings and everything just started pouring in. And that's when everything in my life started transforming. But it took that moment of mindset shift for me to unlock that destiny.
Yeah. And it really comes from us. We're the only ones that can change ourselves, and we have to change ourselves from the inside out. Yes. Nobody else can change us, and we can't change anybody else. So we have to take control and responsibility for our lives, for our choices, for our mindset, and make that switch. So I love it. Absolutely love it. I didn't know your story, so that's exciting. I'm I'm honored, and I'm just, I know that there are a lot of people out there that have our story. We have a different background or a different upbringing or a different reason why we feel this in our life. For me, it was my brother got hurt. We were outside playing. My brother got hurt, and my mom blamed me for not taking care of my brother. For you, it was, not having your dad around and how that affected you and how that moved you forward and into then the corporate world. There are other people out there that have that same experience. And I just want to go back a little bit because I want to help those people through you, if I may. Yeah. When you were experiencing not having your dad around and not feeling that, now that you can look back, and obviously you've gone through that and you've persevered and you are the woman that you are right now, what could you share with someone who might be going through the same thing that you went through back then? If there's a young girl or a young man that's listening, or even someone who is an adult who's experiencing that feeling, what kind of tools or techniques or what kind of advice could you share with them from your experience?
Yeah. So a few things that it took me a long time to figure out. The first is affirmation. The first is affirmation. Being able to speak positivity in your life from the beginning. Everyone around you may be miserable. Misery loves company. But if everyone else is going through that, you have to find a way to isolate yourself just for a moment to protect your energy. Preserving your energy through affirmation and continuously pouring positivity in yourself is going to set you apart from anyone else. That's number one. Number two is to do this consistently. When something goes wrong, immediately breathe deep and start putting in those positive affirmations, because what's going to happen is you're going to train your mind to immediately think and look at the positives, even when the world is crashing around you. When you should be worried, when you should be down, when you should be hurt or crying, you'll be smiling, laughing, and knowing that everything's going to be okay because everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to. So doing it consistently creates that habit. And then learning how to not blame the self. That is the biggest key, because so many times we want to take responsibility for others and their actions or what they do. And we shouldn't have to take full responsibility for anything that anyone does, because like you said, we can't change what they do. We can't change how they think. Only thing we can do is change how we think, change how we act, and change how we respond to those things. So it doesn't matter if your father isn't around, your mother isn't around, someone's neglecting you, you're going through abusive situations. As long as you continue to work on you, you'll see the negativity start to push itself out of your life, because you're strengthening yourself, and your energy, they won't be able to keep up with.
Right.
That's what will set you apart. So continuously working on the self and preserving that energy.
I absolutely love that. And did you have anyone to reach out to help you with that mindset? I mean, I know it was through Lisa, but when you were going through what you were going through, was your mom, was there other people, mentors, coaches, teachers, was there anyone, or do you suggest for the people out there that are feeling alone as they're going through this? What advice would you have them to reach out or to continue to persevere?
A lot of times it won't always come from the people that you're close with. I'm blessed to have a supportive mom, crazy supportive mom. And I'm able to look to her for certain things, but there was a lot of pressures that she had on herself already. So I didn't want to burden her with my issues, which I know it wouldn't be a burden, but as moms know, moms love to worry about their children. So I just more so wanted her to be okay. So I held strong, and I found a support system through people that supported me. And it came from me being completely transparent. A lot of times, and this is a little bit of where I got the drop the panties movement, is a lot of us will think so intimate about everything it is that we do. We're so secretive and we like to keep things private. When in reality, if we were to just be completely transparent with certain things, the help is out there. We oftentimes will, become very private if we're afraid of judgment, when in reality, the people we're afraid of the judgment for are going through the same things that we may be going through. So just being completely transparent, you don't necessarily have to put out all of your business on social media or put all of your business out to the next person, but just, instead of saying, I'm okay, no, I'm not okay, I will be okay. And then you never know. That's how you find friends and you guys can build that support system. But I found that most of my support system came from people I just met. And from people I just met, just from me being completely transparent, because I understand they're in a similar space that I am.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You're just an amazing woman. I'm just feeling so blessed right now to be having this conversation with you, to have you on the Penny Z show, and for you to share your wisdom with our listeners. I just want to let you know what an incredible woman you are. And I'm just, the word just keeps saying, I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling blessed. So thank you very much. I wanted to just share a few more things, and then I would like you to talk a little bit about, promote your book, of course. But there was 2 things that you mentioned in your 3 things to do when you were giving advice. The first one was, I love what you said when you said, protect your energy. That I have never heard anyone say it in that way. And I just love it. I don't know if you have any more to share on that, but I just love the phrase, protect your energy.
Yes, it's important. And it's funny, I have my sage stick right here. I am big on saging and gratitude. That is something that I teach within my mindset training, because that is important. It's key. You have to get inside your mind before anyone else does. So that's a part of protecting your energy. One thing that I will say is I listen to something positive every single day. I listen to The Secret probably about 2 to 3 times a week, more if it's a bad week for me. But constantly staying in my own head. There are things that I'll do, I'll listen to things on YouTube to keep my spirits awake. But whatever I have to do, whether it's however I'm feeling, if I feel like I'm not enough, I'll put on something that's telling me I'm enough. If I feel like I'm tired and I'm feeling lazy, I'll put on something that challenges me to get up and get to it and make it happen. So it's really all about taking how you feel and finding a positive source to reverse that ill feeling. And once you do that, it's amazing. And one of the biggest ways that I found that to be is by celebrating failures. This is something that people laugh at me when I say celebrate failures, but it's through my ACE method, and it's accepting and acknowledging the failure, celebrating that failure because you found a way that didn't work, and then executing a new plan of something that will work. Just because a failure is only, again, something that just didn't work. But if you give up there, you'll miss out on finding the way that will work. So you just keep going, you keep going. And by celebrating those failures and celebrating those negative feelings in a positive light, you'll find yourself shifting that mindset and it becomes habit.
Yeah, I love that. And what you said, celebrating your failures kind of brings me back to, your point number 3, don't blame yourself. And it just reminds me of, and I'm not going to get a quote perfectly, but, Maya Angelou, she would say, the greatest gift that you could give yourself is to forgive yourself. Mm-hmm. And that just, when you said that just reminded me of times when I heard her, obviously through presentations and online positive interviews and things like that. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to forgive yourself. And especially us women, we have a hard time doing that. It's easy to forgive someone else, but it's hard to say, I forgive you,
And it's really hard to really look yourself in the mirror, but you have to. You have to get comfortable in that uncomfortable space, because when you're uncomfortable, you grow. Yeah. So looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, I really forgive yourself for wasting time. You wasted that time, but guess what? You're not going to waste no more time. You're gonna find a new way to switch it up and get where you need to be. But just acknowledging it. We ignore it so many times. Acknowledge it, celebrate it, face it. Because when you face it, it's not as a big of a giant as you thought it was.
Absolutely. Well, I just love being in your space today. I just want to let you know the energy that you're presenting, the wisdom that you're presenting. I just love being in your space today. So I want to honor that. And I want to ask you to share a little bit about your business, about your book, how you help people, the kind of clients, just share with our listeners how you can help them and how they can reach you. How's that?
Okay, sounds good. Well, I love my clients. My clients are amazing just because they come from all different walks of life. Some, wealthy, some may not have, as much right now, but they're working towards wealth. But the biggest thing that all of my clients possess is an open mind to grow. So that's the number one and key thing. Just simply because financial literacy is something that I'm very passionate about, just because I know what it's like to not have any money. I know what it's like to scramble for food or to, wonder how you're going to make it to ends meet. I know what it's like to have poor credit. I know what it's like to be in piles and piles of debt, but I also know what it's like on the other side. As I'm, embarking on my journey, because a financial journey is a lifetime journey, I'm learning the ins and the outs, and I'm seeing how it feels just to have a little bit of financial freedom. And I'm just thinking, okay, if it feels this good to just have this much wealth of knowledge and to have this much debt paid off and to have this much saved, I love it. You start to love it, and it becomes a huge passion once you get the hang of it. But because we didn't know financial literacy, we're constantly beat down by all the expectations of, having this perfect credit score, having this much saved, having this budget perfect, having everything on, a paycheck that you're pinching to get to the next point. So how I assist is I come in and I'm like that coach that teaches you what to do. I don't want to come in and just do it for you, because if I get in there and I do it for you, if you get back in the same rut, you won't know how to get yourself out. But if I come in and I coach you and I show you what to do, I reveal the secrets, I'm completely transparent about my own situation and what I've went through and where I'm going, then you feel a lot more compelled to say, you know what, I'm not alone. I am enough. I can get to where I have to get to. It's just going to take a little bit of work. So when my clients get with me, just make sure that you're ready to work, because I'm going to work you.
That's fantastic. My motto this year is a woman on a mission. So you're a woman on a mission. You're going to help work your clients and get them mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially in shape.
That's the way to be, because once you're in shape financially and from a mindset perspective, it overflows in the rest of your life. Once you transform your mind in one way, it, like I said, overflows in the rest of everywhere else. And the finances come to follow. So I have courses, exclusive coachings that they're able to have, the book if they want to have like a self-help type of thing, or if you want to do like the, more personal coaching, or the courses if you like to kind of self-pace it.
So how can they reach you, Brittany?
Okay, so you can reach me at www.crownfinancials.com. You'll see everything from my social media to my email contact. If you want to book me for a workshop, have me come to a workshop at your school or at church or corporate office, I can come do that as well. You'll see that information on there. You'll see access to the courses. You'll be able to purchase the courses. You'll be able to purchase the book online as well. And yeah, everything is on www.crownfinancials.com.
Great. Well, again, we want to thank you for being on the Penny Z Show. Any final words for our audience?
Yes. As of today, as of 6:24 p.m., I want you guys to take a moment, go into the mirror, look at yourself, and begin to speak positivity over your life. Telling yourself, I am enough. I always have been enough. I will always be enough. And start practicing the way you want to live, so that once you get there, it's already in a system and you feel good.
That's fantastic. It's a perfect way to end our Penny Z Show today, talking about overcoming I'm not enough. And for all of the listeners out there, our information for Brittany Greene will also be on our website, our social media. So you will be able to find her through thepennyzshow.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Link us, like us, share us, follow us. The more people that we have following the Penny Z Show, the more we can help and touch the world and make it a better place. We're helping to transform lives one life at a time. Thank you all for listening today. This is Penny Z. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to hear more, including specific ways to empower yourself, go to thepennyzshow.com.